Hello and welcome to Exploring Text Data, an Intro to NLP. My name is Lucas Kelly, and all of the work that you'll see today will be posted on my GitHub repository. You want to look for NLP Real or Not Disaster Tweets. Here you'll see the workbook for this lesson, and you'll also see the presentation in PDF form. So let's get started. So the objectives are really for you to understand how to tokenize text data, how to remove stop words, and how to create a frequency distribution and showcase it using a visual. And then we really want to use that to be aware of the next steps of an NLP project. So what is NLP? Really, it's just any time that we're doing an analytics task that deals with natural human language in the form of text or speech. And the example we'll be working on today is giving us data from Twitter, tweets about real-world disasters. But here's what that data looks like. There's a column of tweets in the text column, and each row is an individual tweet. This is really nice structured data. So there's a training data set and a testing data set, and it's already labeled for us. Labeled as yes, it's referring to an actual disaster occurring in the world, or 0, no, it's not referring to a disaster. So hopefully we'll be able to use this to maybe better provide relief to areas of the world where disasters are occurring. And analytics tasks again deal with speech or text and natural human language. And that's what we have here in our text column. So the real flow of an NLP project would be to capture that data. We have our Twitter data. We're then going to do some feature extraction and prepare it for the end goal, which is to create a model. Today, we'll really be focused on feature extraction. So let's get started. This data comes from a Kaggle data set where we're trying to create a classification model to detect if the disaster tweet is real or not. Here's an example of a not real disaster tweet. This uses words like the sky was ablaze. We as humans can look at this and really note that it's just talking about a sunset. We want to create a model that will do the same. It will notice this picture, it will read this language, and it'll be able to understand that it's not referring to an actual disaster. So let's get started. A prerequisite for this work is you do have to know how to work in Jupyter Notebook, and you have to know programming in Python language. So to start, we're going to tokenize, we're going to remove stop words, and we're going to create a frequency distribution with our tweets. So the libraries we'll be using are Pandas, Matplotlib for visualization, and the Natural Language Toolkit. It's a perfect library for working with text data, and more can be found on the documentation page by following this link. I'm going to load up my data, and I'm really only concerned for this lesson with the training data. Just to look at the training data's shape and any null values that are in there, we're missing some location data, we're missing some keywords. We'll have to note that for future reference. And we really have a lot of tweets. We're working with over 7,500 tweets. So now just to look at these with a target of a 1, you see that the tweets have words like earthquake, forest fire, shelter in place. These are tweets that are really referring to a disaster. And these are the ones that I really only want to work with for now. So I'm going to separate that out into the data that's only showing a target of a 1. That's the data that I want to now tokenize. So the process of tokenization really just breaks down any sentence and it breaks apart the individual words. So using the NLTK library and its word tokenize function, I'm going to apply that function to my true text data. And what I'll in turn get is a new list of words, and they're being separated out from each individual tweet. So you'll see that now each individual word is in this list. And that will help us create stop words. So stop words are the words that we just don't want in our list of words. These stop words are things like the, I, lowercase I, capital A. And NLTK provides a library already to go in the English language of stop words, the most common stop words. I also want to add to that though. I'm going to add in punctuation, and I'm going to add in some random phrases or words that I've noticed in the data that I don't want in there. So I've created my list of stop words, and it's 233 words long. So what I want to do now is I want to loop through that data, and I want to loop through it 233 times, because that's how many words are in the data, or in the list, I should say. And I want to capitalize and uppercase each word, just so that I'm making sure I'm gathering every instance of each individual word. So I've looped through it, and I've capitalized and I've uppercased the word, and I've added it back into the stop words list. My stop words list is now 701 characters long. Now I need to remove the stop words. So for every row in my tokenized true list, I'm going to take every single word. And if that word is not in the stop words list, I'm going to append it to a new list called true tokens. Once I do that and I check on my list, I should have a list of words that I want to work with. Now I can look at how often these words appear. So this is called a frequency distribution. The frequency distribution, again, with the NLTK library, has a really nice function. Freq_dist pass in the true tokens list that I've just created and creating a dictionary of the most common words, in this case, the 10 most common words. I can then look at my list of words and I can see, oh, there's a problem. There's this ... here. So this is an example of missing a stop word. So what I'm actually going to do is I'm going to go back and I'm going to add in this little extra piece into my stop words list to make sure I'm removing that ... along with a few other things that I've noticed in the data. So if I go through and I do this all over again, and I update my loop to make sure I uppercase all the words in the list, I have a longer stop words list. I'm going to remove this new list of words from my true tokens, and I'm going to create a frequency distribution again that will show me that, okay, now this makes more sense. Fire is the most commonly used word in this set of tweets. The last thing I want to do is just create a visualization of this. So using matplotlib, I'm going to create a bar graph that shows the keys of this dictionary, the words that show up on the x-axis, and how often the words show up on the y-axis. Once I do that, I have a really nice visual of all the words most commonly used in this set of tweets. So now what I eventually will lead to do is this will lead me into the modeling phase. Now that's a future lesson. And if there's anything that you need to go back and see, again, these are the links where you can find the repository. And if you have any questions about this lesson, you can reach out to me on LinkedIn. Until next time, thanks for tuning in.